March 5th Veterans Memorial Island Sanctuary Advisory Committee meeting. And no, I didn't miss my shower this morning. It's the beginning of Lent, so I've got this smudge on my forehead for that reason. And so I would like to begin, first of all, with the Pledge of Allegiance. Ken, would you lead that, please?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Reviewing the minutes from last month, February 5th, it was a very quick and efficient meeting. I think we moved through rather quickly and covered the bullets there, but in review of the minutes for last month, are there any recommended changes? Okay.
I make a motion we accept the minutes as printed.
Okay. And motion?
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah. Very good. We'll go ahead and record those for prosperity. Audience participation. We have the viewing audience, and right now that's it. So we will continue on to new business, and I don't see anything listed there for the new business, and we'll immediately proceed on to the 50th anniversary, which is under the old business. And just to update the board on the planning that's being done for the anniversary with the Veterans Council, about every 2 weeks, the Veterans Council is getting together the committee to look at that. And last week, the committee also met with the Recreation Department, and I think things are on track. I don't know if you have any comments on that, Patty?
Patty Howard, Assistant Recreation Director. Yes, Rob is in the process of setting up an events committee meeting for that event. He is looking at mid-April to get everybody together and to finalize everything, and everything looks good.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Thanks. Just as well as further update on that, we have met, the committee has met with the assistant principal at the high school, and the Air Force Junior ROTC will be zoparticipating and provide a color guard and some of their drill team members, so that's outstanding. Colonel Zoller is in charge over there, and I've spoken with him. Our expectation is the band will be there, and we'll need to follow up in regards to the band participation. In addition, the Chamber of Commerce has said that they would assist by providing some assistance in publicizing in advance to their directorate of the anniversary and Memorial Day. So I think that's coming along nicely. As far as the ceremony goes, the intent is still to have a parade that would begin on the south end of the island with the honor guard and the fife and the drum corps from the Masters Academy, and that would process from the south into the circle area where we normally meet with the honor guards and the fife and drum, and then move into the Memorial Day ceremony. The speaker will be Chaplain Flick, Navy captain, and we'll have the Gold Star wives, a couple of them who are the families of deceased service members, and then also some Blue Star families that have some soldiers deployed on the stage to acknowledge them. Once the ceremony is completed, we'll transition into a recognition of the 50th anniversary, and we have a special speaker there for that. Miss Alma Loy, and we'll have a birthday cake. So I think the day will be very eventful. Expectation is between 1,000 to 2,000 individuals. So if you're viewing this, get the word out. And as always, bring chairs. And it'll be early in the morning. We'll get started a little bit earlier, 8:45, as opposed to 9 o'clock, with the actual end of the ceremony being about 10 o'clock, not later than 10:30. Okay. Okay. Mr. Dexter, please.
Good morning, Don Dexter, Public Works Department. And we have a couple things on the agenda this morning, the sundial relocation and the military service marker restoration. Before the meeting started, I was able to show the committee one of the restored markers. They've all been restored and returned. So we'll want to clean and paint the concrete pedestals that they go on before we reinstall them. And then also the sundial relocation work. We've had some other projects that have come up that the facilities guys have not been able to get over and do that yet. But we did receive the dye packet so we can match the color of the concrete out there. Probably, well before Memorial Day, we will have that project completed. My guess is mid-April we should be able to get that done. So.
Do me a favor. Can you hold up to the folks that are watching on television the service plaque, kind of example of that?
We'll put it over there. So
Okay.
This is the Army plaque that all 6 have been restored.
Okay. So there's a half a dozen that's all around the perimeter: Army, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Department of Defense,
Department of Defense, yeah.
and
Looks brand new.
they're beautiful.
Yeah, they did a wonderful
Right.
job. And the finish that they put on this is a lacquer that is supposed to hold up much better than the standard lacquer that is applied typically when they do these. So we're hoping to get a great service life out of these plaques once
We'll
again.
find out.
And yeah, we'll find out.
Wow.
And those are just re-epoxied back onto the,
Actually, there's screws that set down into the concrete, and they're epoxied also.
oh, the epoxy, okay. Did they come in under budget for the dollar amount?
At $870.
So that's right on target.
And I think that was
Right on
nine.
target. Yeah,
Right
we
on
did-
target.
I think you had
we
900.
approved up to $1,000.
Oh, to 1,000,
In case
okay.
There was some discrepancy in the shipping cost. But $870, the price they quoted is the price that was
Wow.
invoiced.
Okay.
Wonderful.
That's
Just by way of assurance, I was out on the island visiting, and some people were out there taking photos. And, you know, you strike up a conversation and ask them if they know about the island and what the intent is. And I mentioned the fact that we were restoring the service emblems, and they go, "Whew!" They said we were concerned that there had been some vandalism on the island. You know,
Yeah, and we received several calls in our office about missing plaques, and we assured them that they're purposely missing. So,
yeah.
and
And I assured them. I said, "No, that's not malice. That's a goodness." So,
Yes.
okay. You got any other questions for the group?
Yeah, Don, one other question. If we had to replace those, do you have any idea what it would cost if we had to buy them new?
Just a ballpark number, I would guess in the $500 to $600 range a piece
Each?
each.
Wow, they did
But
a great job.
that's kind of a pulling it out of the air, wild guess. So.
Gosh.
Wow.
Well, at least people were paying attention.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, look here. They've all
No.
disappeared.
No. No.
It's good to see what branch of service you brought in there, too.
Yeah, we're going to decide
Okay.
to teach you about that.
Right. All right. So thank you very much on that. Moving to chairman matters, I would like to kind of show a presentation of a video that was done as a segue into discussing the individual memorial eligibility criteria. So, Rita, you want me to click that?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay. good as the tennis shoes. Okay. This is a introductory video talking about warrior perspective. And warrior perspective was a part or is a part of the warrior support that the Veterans Council is doing. And it involves everything that helps the veterans in Indian River County. And the Veterans Council has got the emergency fund with the UAV. It has the Veterans Outreach. But another part of the support for veterans that we have is Veterans Memorial Island. As we look out to the future for the Afghan vets, for the war and terror veterans, which include all those from Iraq and Afghanistan, the memorial for those that have given their lives in those wars and those future wars are something that Memorial Island provides. And those coming to the events for Veterans Day and Memorial Day have that at their disposal. So I think the opportunity for Veterans Island, Memorial Island in the future is going to be with the families and the veterans that are here today and in the future. And as I look at that, I want to make sure that's there for prosperity, and I think that's the group desires as well, and what we're working towards. Right now, if you look at the resolution that provides the standard for recognizing individuals for honoring on the island, it's specified in the resolution that was adopted in 2010, and it states specifically that for the individuals, those that will be honored on the island shall have died in combat, shall be men and women of Indian River County who died in combat while defending our country. That's the criteria that's there. I am just looking for the board, for the committee, to look at that and see if there is, it's appropriate that we consider looking at providing a mechanism for those families that come here and reside here to have recognition for their sons and daughters that died in the conflict that may have not come from Indian River County. And we have several families in the area that have come and now reside here. And the island is the veterans and in the veterans' families. maybe the cenotaphs should be held to that standard that is in place, or maybe there should be an opportunity for those families to come on an individual basis and ask for a opportunity for that recognition. Because of the Sunshine Law, this is the forum to discuss that, and I'll bring that up now, not for resolution today, okay? Because this is just an opportunity, and my request to the members of the committee to consider that and to look at if the appropriateness of that, or maybe we'll make a recommendation further, but we need to enter that dialogue, and I wanted to add that to the agenda. So I guess is there any questions in regards to the reasoning behind adding it to the agenda?
I guess just while we're discussing it, there are about 18,000 veterans in Indian River County. So our thoughts are of not just any veteran who dies and then to be memorialized, but someone who died in combat, I guess, is the idea, because otherwise the island will be covered with.
Oh, no. I mean, and that's the case. No, it would be an individual. Again, my recommendation would be that it would be an individual that died in service to their country, and on active duty, because, as we said, the space is limited. That is a concern.
Mr. Chairman, we do operate under the sunshine, and of course, it's the first time I've had the opportunity to even glance at this, and the first time I've even had really any thoughts about it. Right. My first thought is the original intent of the island is well described right here. And it goes back to the very beginning of Veterans Memorial Island. It goes back to the wishes of Alex McWilliams. And I think we have to be very careful to always feel that we are adhering to the original intent. Now, there may be a way in some other area where your suggestion could be accomplished. But today with the transit population, I'd really have to think about this a lot more, because so anyway, I'm glad you brought it up.
I agree, Mr. Young. I'm having a hard time. What Ms. Lloyd just said, that Mr. McWilliams, how he wanted it, not just from 2010, but what they signed over there, but the original intent was for Indian River County, and I'm having a hard time even thinking about it right now, that we put somebody in there, not that they're, I respect that, if they died, while in war, but I just have a hard time thinking about putting somebody else in there that's really not from Indian River County.
The discovery that I made in looking at all of the veterans on the island, and that are honored in Cenotaph Square, and there are a total of 78. Okay, if you look at the 78, a good portion of them, and I would say at least a third, are families that came here, and their son or daughter may have
That's what you call pioneers.
They were grandfathered in. They wouldn't be eligible now.
Right.
Now
Yeah,
with the
they
current
wouldn't have
order.
been eligible under those criteria.
And actually, the ordinance says that any veteran who died in combat, not just active duty, but who died in combat, and was a resident of Indian River County at the time of his initial entry into the service. I think since Memorial Island should be there forever, as long as we have a country and we have veterans, it'll be there forever. So, and hopefully there's not a lot of wars, but it seems like that, and we're hoping that it's not just covered with Civitas one day. But I think in the past we've kind of turned down families that moved here, and their father or grandfather was a World War II veteran, a highly decorated veteran, certainly deserves our respect and admiration, but we turned them down because it didn't fit into them joining the service from Indian River County, dying in a combat operation. And then those that are out there, back in the old days, people would just go out there and put in the beginning I hear people were out there on orange crates sitting to have Veterans Day or Memorial Day services. So those were grandfathered in, but those that you had mentioned would not be eligible by today's ordinance.
Right. And that's and that would be the case. Maybe if you look at the numbers, in 64 there were approximately 55 individuals that were honored with cenotaphs. And of the 55, you had a half dozen, maybe 7 that were from World War I, and then World War II in Korea. And then in 72 timeframe, we had about 13 more from the Vietnam era. And then a handful added post that. And then just last May, we added 5 more that were recognized from World War I, World War II, and Vietnam. So the numbers of people that would be eligible, if you looked at residency requirements and died on active duty or in combat, I don't think would be significant. It would be beyond the capacity or
I don't know if it's a numbers thing as much as it's the numbers is fine. I mean, if there was 110, like John Michael said, hopefully there's not any more. We don't have to put any more there. It's not a numbers thing. It's more if they fit the criteria. And that's what my biggest thing is. That they have to fit that criteria. It wasn't set by us. It wasn't set in 2010. It was set from the originator of it. So that's where I'm having a hard time I don't want to delineate from what he wanted and what he expressed when that island was given, wasn't there for us.
Right.
Well,
right.
It was not only Alex McWilliams, but all of the people who worked to build the island, plus the elected officials who have carried it on through all these years. But wouldn't it be wonderful if we never had another one?
That would be great.
Amen.
Under the criteria we have.
Exactly.
Right. Okay. Well, I think we've put it on the table to look at and consider.
Can I ask a question? First of all, forever is a long time. So if the idea is that it will be there as long as we have a country, there may be quite a few out there. There is room. I guess it could be like Arlington. You could have rows of them out in the South Field. But I think that the intent was to honor not just those on active duty, but those who died in a combat operation. That's what it says. And now, do we have, not we, but I guess we're just an advisory committee to the city council, but can there be if somebody petitions the board and then goes to city council, can they do could someone, could there be a variance or whatever? Could we
an
allow
exception
someone,
process.
a family that's, or a Medal of Honor winner or something. I mean, so there's still a chance for somebody to be honored out there without.
And maybe that's something. My understanding from the way that the city resolution is written is the criteria is specific, and there's not a mechanism for that to happen. And maybe that's something that I can get with the city attorney and say, is there is there, is my understanding accurate? And come back to the council. Because at this point, I don't believe that's the case.
My final thought is I'm happy with it the way it is, actually.
Okay.
Are we making a motion to table this till next month, or do we want to think about this?
I think, no, this is the intent.
Okay, very good.
I think we've accomplished that.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Moving to another matter, I just want to mention, as we had talked about earlier about anniversaries, last Sunday marked the second anniversary for the Victory Center. And the Victory Center is a resource just like Memorial Island to help veterans. And so that's something that I think everybody should take advantage of and make use of. And also, coming up on the 21st and the 22nd of this month and the 23rd at the high school is the 17th annual Red, White, and Blue concert. It's entitled American Musical Legends. And if you're interested in going, you can call the ticket office at the Vero Beach Performing Arts Center. And for general admission, it's $12, and for veterans, it's $6. So I think that is all that I have as the chairman. Members?
Yes, sir. We were talking about the pipe and drum or the fife and drum corps.
Right.
For those that like that sort of thing, the St. Patrick's Day Parade is this Saturday at 1 o'clock. And I was just looking at the order of march or the number of units in it, and it looks like they have 6 pipe and drums or fife and drum marching units, as well as veterans organizations, the VFW, the Marine Corps League, the Vietnam Veterans, and a whole bunch of other clowns and antique cars and such. So that St. Patrick's Day on 14th Avenue, St. Patrick's Day Parade on 14th Avenue at 1 o'clock Saturday. And then the following Saturday is the St. Patrick's Day Parade on Ocean Drive. So there's a bunch of them. I had the honor of portraying St. Patrick in the parade one time, which was a lot of fun. And anyway, I just thought the community might like to know that. And then also on back to Memorial Island, I had a veteran approach me about there's not a marker for merchant Marines. And I think I told him that he was represented by the Department of Defense plaque, kind of in a way. And just maybe for discussion, there isn't a veterans organization proposing it, which is another part of the ordinance. But we do honor the merchant Marines. The World War II types had lost a lot in World War II, and I guess the ones that were merchant Marines during World War II are the ones that are considered veterans. Not all merchant Marines. Is that right, Joel?
Right.
So even though there's not one specifically out there, I wanted him and other merchant Marines or families of to know that we appreciate their service and sacrifice, and they are represented by the Department of Defense plaque, as well as CIA types and others that are not normally recognized in those other plaques.
There's a whole lot of folks that contributed beyond those that wore the individual Marine, Army, Air Force uniforms, and I think that's the intent for the DoD memorial.
And one more thing, if I may. One of our veterans was still active, and I met when I first moved here and was on the island almost every time I was or we were, is Ray Sent passed away recently. And Joel said, I guess other veterans have passed away. I guess we're losing a lot of the World War II types. But anyway, Ray Sent died a week or so ago.
Good.
Thank you.
Anything? Yes, Ken.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Question on the 50th anniversary. Mm-hmm. The company that did the taping in the past, will they be doing the taping again? The company that you had mentioned a number of meetings ago?
We've asked them to do that.
Are they going to do it?
I believe so.
Okay, and when you get confirmation from them, could we put it up on our TV channel here for the city so people can go in and take a look and possibly advertise it in the newspaper? So families that have vets in the service, they can let them know. I know one of the things I want to do is on our Facebook page, is listed on the Facebook page, because I'm telling a lot of my friends, and I have family that's in the military, and I had told them about the taping that was done in the past on the island. So I'm
Okay.
kind of hoping it does go
Let me
forward.
confirm that. And
I appreciate that.
If you get it to the county, they'll put it on theirs as well.
This is the guy
Okay, streamline.
that does the taping.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Sure. All right. Others? Not seeing that? Have a resolution for adjournment.
Move we adjourn.
Okay. All in favor?
All right.
Thank you.